Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Studio 24. In our previous video, I showed you how to write a simple code in Python for a basic weather app. Today, I'll be showing you how to improve a little more on the previous code to get more user interface. In the previous video, we could get weather data via the IDE terminal. That was all we could do. But in this video, we are going to get more functionalities. We'll be able to handle errors. We'll be able to see a better user interface. We're going to use tkinter. Tkinter is actually a library that is going to be imported, and we're going to use it to create a better user interface that will have input to display results. We're also going to provide buttons that will enable you to get current weather and even 5 days weather. And this is going to be a very interesting journey, so I invite you to code along with me while we get started. Let's get started. All right, everyone. Now, as usual, you're going to open your Visual Studio Code. You can see mine is already open right here. That's the IDE that I'm going to be using, and that's what we used in the previous tutorial. We're going to start by opening a new Python file. So we click on New File and we go to Python File to create it. Now remember, the files are always usually created as untitled, so you need to give it a name. So to give it a name, you go to your file and you click on Save As. I need to bring up this dialog box. So you change this to the name of the project you're about to embark on, and the project is we are doing a more advanced an extended weather app. That's what we're doing. So you can give it any name. I don't want to restrict you to any name. So you can give it whatever name you like. The previous one was basic, but this one is more advanced. It's a more extended version. So let me name it extended weather app. Is that okay? You can name it anything you want. So let's say extended. I don't want to restrict it to a name. I just want, so we can call it an extended underscore weather app. Underscore app. So it's already there .py. So you click on save. Okay, I think I have one like that already on my system, so I can cancel and probably I could just add something to it to make it different from the one. Okay, I could make it improved. I could call it improved weather app. Improved weather app. Okay, good. Save. So voila, we have it there. Now, let's get down to business. So, as usual, I told you, you must have requests with your app. You must have requests with your app. So, you check pip install wikis, store request, press enter. So it shows that I already have request installed. Then so I can begin. I also need to have TK Inter. So I need to TK Inter also needs to be there. So let's just import everything we need. We have imports, requests. We also import TK Inter. And we will also import TK Inter from TK Inter imports message bus. So okay, so this is your first these are the libraries that is needed for you to be able to produce a much more advanced weather app in Python. So we need to explain in details what we're about to do. So we have to get a function for the current weather data, because we've gone through this in our previous video, so you can go to the video to understand this. The definition, get weather, city, then API. I told you API is needed because you have to connect to a server, the weather server, and the weather server you need to connect to is the one that you're going to get your data from. So all these are informed. So and the weather server is the URL here. The response to, if you want to understand all this, please check my previous video. You will get all this information, but I could just give you a summary. The response equals to request does get, and the response has to be equivalent to the request for this to be true. And the JSON JavaScript object notation is the one that gets the information from the weather station through the API key and provides all the data we need, like temperature, humidity, wind speed, and everything you see right here. So this will be better understood if you check on the previous video. So let's go ahead. Right. So from the previous lesson, I told you about this, and this was to fetch the data from the weather server. Now, in this lesson, we are first going to write a code to deal with the error messages, just like I told you while we were introducing this course. Now, please accept requests. This started with after the weather, the city, and the API code started with try this except this. Now this except these functionalities try and accept handles the HTTP errors. So you say accept requests, exemptions, HTTP errors. So this helps to return if there's error in the HTTP. It helps to return none. That is the function of this code. So accept request that is sent is in error, then it will return the message as none. It will show the message as none. So this code here, this 5 line of codes handles the error, HTTP error problems here. Okay, so while we have handled the error code, you will notice here we are repeating the code again, the get weather code. We repeat it again, but in this this time we want to get 5-day forecast. So function to get 5-day forecast. So to get 5-day forecast, the only difference between all we wrote here is the same as what we wrote in the previous video, and the same thing here. So the only difference is that we need a 5-day forecast, so you include this line of code for forecast in data, then list in bracket and column 5 in brackets. So forecast underscore data dot append. This will display for you 5 days of the forecast from the weather server. And if there is also an error, it will return the data as the HTTP error as none. To return as none. So that's for the 5-day forecast. So if you see here, we've handled if the data you entered is wrong, it will return as none. Here, if data you enter also is wrong, it will return as none. But here there will be a production of 5 more days of the weather inputs. So you can actually code this along. A full copy of these codes will actually be available in our community or in the link below. Alright, so you can see we write the code to display the function which defines show forecast. If you enter the city name and the forecast details will be gotten from the website through the API key. So this is my API key. I just imputed it. So the API key is the one you get from the website. We did all that yesterday. So this setting is the GUI's setup where we use the TK enter. The TK enter is of course the HTTP, is one that calls in the HTTP visual effect. So we're going to try to run the code now, because I'm going to share this code in the entire code. I'm going to share it in our comment section, in our community or comment section, so you can always use it. Now if you run this code, you will get this. You can see we now have a user interface. So here, if you enter city like New York, and you click on get weather, you get the weather for New York. So You get the weather, the temperature, the feels like, the humidity, and the wind speed. You get all that. Then if you also have another button for get 5 day forecast. You click on it to display all this the next 5 days. But if you look at this interface, it's a little bit smaller. You can make it wider inside the VS Code. You can let's do that. Let me show you how to do that. Go back to the VS Code. You go to the GUI setup. So where we have the GUI setup, you can see here we have 400 by 300. We can decide to make it maybe 600. And let's run it. 600 by 300. Let's run it and see how it is. Okay, we have to close this first, then we run it. So this is 400 by 600. Okay, we can change it the other way around. This is 600 by 300, so we can change the other way around. We have let's see, we want to make it longer, so we can make it 300 by, or we can make it 400 by 600. This 400 by 600 pixel, that's the root geometry. So we can do it that way. Let's run the app. We have to close the former one. So if you run the app, you have this. This is a little bit better. So you can type in London, get weather. So you see, I type in London, it wasn't complete. I type in Londo. So when I click on get alert, I get weather, you see the arrow. This was what I was telling you about the HTTP error. So it shows you this is an error. So it means that there's no city like that London. Yeah, so the error is none. None. The response is none. You can change your response if you want to change it. So click OK. So let me complete it and give you London. Let's type the correct London. So get weather, now you get London. Get 5 days forecast, you get it. So that these are all the functions are all working, and this is an improved version of the weather app we designed in the previous video. And in subsequent video, we are going to add some more features and make it more beautiful by adding CSS and all the things, just to add CSS to our HTTP and make the whole thing look much more beautiful and nice. Well, so this is the end. I will paste the code in the comment section or in the community, so you can use it and play around with it, and until we meet again in the next class. Please ensure that you subscribe to this channel to constantly get updates from us, especially when we have new classes. All our classes are free, so subscribe to our channel so you can always get updates when we have new classes. Have a lovely day.